but we don't stop. If your bed was full of screams, I guess you're swimming, don't walk. I'm all alone out there, I know I'm on the phone, I feel stuck. Going ghost, I don't exist from me to road, I feel love. Girl, I hide, bye, but we don't stop. If your bed was full of screams, I guess you're swimming, don't walk. I'm all alone out there, I know I'm on the phone, I feel stuck. Going ghost, I don't exist from me to road, I feel love. Wish I was famous and pretty.
Welcome. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna be that kind of person. Could you imagine? Like that's still. You ever open a? It's like, why are you so loud? Like
yeah.
Like a Mr.
It's
Beast
just right
type.
in your face.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you
It's
got
like today we're gonna interview 1,000 people. Give each one $1 that allows me to interview. Let's go right now. Like and subscribe for the channel. Whatever. I'll follow you. The bell. Here we go.
I mean, that's their hook.
And then it's brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends. Everybody, the Raid Shadow Legends.
No, but now they're advertising that like magic spoon cereal or whatever. That's like,
Oh yeah, I seen those
people complaining about like $9 a box, and it's like,
yeah. I saw a guy. He was like an ex-Viner, but he had them. He was like, they're not good, and I was like, I can imagine.
yeah, no.
But anywho, welcome back, everybody. This is the Will's Truth Podcast. Today, I have a very special guest, my boy, Rodrigo Pedro.
Hey guys.
He's famous on YouTube. I don't know if you've
No,
seen him with the likes of PewDiePie or Vanos Gaming or Kev on Stage. But he was with
where
them.
are you going with that?
I don't know.
All right.
That's the only YouTubers I had on top of my head. But yes, welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you for hosting today.
Of course.
And
You're gonna probably hear some dogs in the background because I have like 5 or 6.
oh yeah, so we're at the Rodrigo residence.
Yeah. Oh, well,
Yeah.
would you want me to
No,
follow up?
No,
on
I
that?
didn't have anything for you. But it's like they have like chickens and ducks and stuff. It's cool over here, man. It's a cool place.
Yeah.
And then we're in a bedroom that was once a garage.
Yep. It's all painted up in the Mexican colors for some reason, you know. Oh,
It is. I just realized.
You know, I just
Man, the
realized
pride,
it as
man.
well as I was looking over it.
You gotta have the pride, man.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I like it though.
Yeah, it's
you know.
cool.
Yeah, it's like a little guest room for now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's originally my sister's, but she's in Amsterdam for a week,
Yeah.
so you
And
know.
then we've got the llama for
Yes.
South America.
It's directly from Peru, actually.
I had a coworker at my doggy daycare that was from Peru.
Oh, really?
His name was Jorge. Shout out Jorge.
Wonder what he's up to.
Oh well, he just quit a couple.
Oh, okay.
couple months. I went to go pick up my W-2 and they was like, oh, it was Jorge's last day. I was like, oh, I just miss Jorge. Jorge was cool though.
Oh, damn.
He was telling me stories about how like what he. Well, no, he had a real sad story where it's like there was like a civil war happening and he was like working
Mhm.
and like whichever side of the civil war, they just were going to his job and just like shooting people in the head and like they didn't kill him because he was in school. And I was like, so like they killed like it was like on a line. I was like, yo, like this is like week 2. Like we're just in the yard with dogs together. And he's
Speaking of dogs.
speaking
yeah.
of dogs,
Well, that just goes to show you that education is important.
education is important.
It
And
saved his life.
Yeah, it did. And then he was telling me how he used to have like sex on the bus all the time.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, he was an older guy, so you know that was
Okay.
back when people took the bus. Like
Oh, okay.
Jorge was
That's-
wilding, man.
Well, good for him. Sounds like he's lived quite a life.
Yeah, he has, and he's really good at training dogs. I would plug him, but I don't know his
You
stuff.
didn't even
But
get
just
his number?
Look up Jorge in Atlanta. There's not a lot of them. You know, there's really 5. You know.
I'm sorry, what?
There aren't a lot
That's
of
an
Jorge.
outright lie. Come on now, it's Atlanta.
I mean, 10, maybe there's 6, 8.
Okay, anyways.
Anyways, what do you want to talk about today?
Well, I mean, I'm a guest for a specific reason, right?
You are, I guess, for a specific reason. Because today we're going to talk about Pokemans.
Oh, okay.
Pokemon!
I've always wanted to talk about Pokemon. Let's go.
Yeah. How do you feel about Pokemon now?
Honestly, the newer one, Scarlet and
Oh,
Violet, was
Scarlet.
actually pretty fun. I always have this tendency to never complete my Pokedex. Like the last 3 games, I have been so close. I've gone like maybe. I've needed maybe like 8 more.
The Pokedex or the National Dex?
No, God, no. The National Dex. I
Oh,
don't even
that's-
want. No, I don't even want
Woo,
to try to
man.
approach that, man. That's too intimidating for
That's
me.
too
No,
much, man.
the local one, the regional one, I would be maybe like 3 to 8 Pokemon off the and that's been happening the last 3 games where I just don't complete it. I don't know. It's the ADHD.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
what I
the
blame
type
it on.
person that's like, I become the Pokemon champion, and then I go to like the Battle Nexus, whatever the end game activities are. I kind of feel around a little bit. I see there's like a new currency system that I had to use, and I'm like, ugh. I tried. And then I go get, like, because normally once the game ends, normally like a legendary that you can't get until you're the champion. So I normally get that guy. And then back in the DS days, you'd hear like, Arceus is at GameStop. Come to GameStop. You can have Arceus.
I still love that, dude. I mean,
Yeah.
now they just give you the card, but before you were able to like actually
you had to,
go
like-
in
you had to,
there
like,
and like
go
you'd
in-
have to bring your actual DS.
That was cool, man.
Yeah, now it's just you go in, you ask for a card, they give you the card, and now it expires too. Like before they didn't. I don't think they used to like expire the codes to like get the Pokemon.
Yeah, now they definitely expire.
Like I found one for a legendary Pokemon that it was like a shiny. It was the Pokemon Sword legendary. It was a shiny version of it. I got the card, but I forgot to put it into my game and claim it, and it had expired in December.
Dang. Yeah, I was, because
So-
I when I borrowed / stole your Pokemon Sword copy.
Wait, what?
You remember that? Because I was at your house and I was like, I just stole your sword. I was like, I'm gonna ask him to borrow Sword and Shield. So I grabbed it, put it in my pocket, and then I was like, I think Andrew was with us. He was like,
Oh
he
yeah,
was like,
yeah.
Well, did you? I was like, oh yeah. I was not planning on. I was gonna steal it, but I wasn't playing. I was legit planning on asking. And I was like, can I borrow your Sword and Shield? He was like, what do you think? And then Andrew was like, and I was like, what does that mean? And he was like, Andrew was like, well, that means yes. And then I started playing it, cause I've played. Chronologically for me, it was Pokemon XD on the GameCube. Fire game, man. Once I get a PC, I'm gonna download that legally. Nintendo, don't. But then it was Sapphire. Sapphire was like my first main Pokemon.
That was my
game.
first Pokemon game, and I forever love Sapphire.
And then I jumped to Pokemon Platinum.
Wow.
Yeah,
what a leap.
I know, what a leap. I skipped
Yeah,
Emerald.
okay.
Because I wasn't really sure. I didn't really understand Pokemon. I didn't realize it was like a whole thing.
Yeah.
So it was like I didn't know how to like stay up with stuff. And I only got stuff on Christmas and birthday, and then I'd always want I went through like a phase where I only wanted toys, and but anywho, then it was Platinum, and then Soul Silver. Soul Silver was fun because it had the little thing.
The little Poke Walker. Oh my god, I
Yeah.
remember I
Oh,
used to take that with
That
me
junk was
everywhere.
heat, bro.
I love
Nintendo
that.
used to come with the heat. You could really bring your. That was so cool. You could bring your favorite Pokemon with you, and then like they got back and it was like, I found you an Oranberry, or like.
Well, I
gained
mean, they
XP.
created a spin-off. It's like Pokemon Go, right? With then they have the Pokemon
Yeah.
Go Plus thing, but it's like
It wasn't. They could have done more with that.
yeah. Apparently, it's still popular among people. Some people, anyways.
Yeah.
Like I
'Cause-
talked to someone that they have a group that goes Pokemon Go hunting
Yeah.
with and it's a group of people going like every week.
You know what happened to me was you remember it was like 2015 or 16 that summer when everybody was playing Pokemon
It was
Go.
2016. I remember.
Yeah,
very
I had an
fondly.
iPhone 4S, and it could not handle.
I think you've
Because it was
told
like
me
a
this before.
constant GPS, and like it was too like I had it download. Every time I opened it, it just closed. Like it was like no. So I completely missed that original boom, and I was so sad about it. And then I got back into it once I got a newer phone. I was like, oh, this ain't bad. But it's just like, it just shows if like we properly integrate Pokemon, like if we get like holograms and stuff, like Pokemon would just be like a part of life. Because it's like.
You ever used to watch those YouTube videos of like Pokemon CGI? Like it was actually fan edits of like people like Pokemon in real life kind of thing, where like they actually had the Pokemon out in the real world CGI'd, and it was actually pretty impressive for the time. I mean, this is like a decade ago, so I don't know if they've followed up on those videos or not.
I don't remember that because probably there was a lot of stuff. Like people love Pokemon for a long time, but I remember when Google Maps made that fake ad for the Pokemon. You remember that ad where it was like Google Maps was like, oh, we have this thing where you could become a Pokemon master. You throw, but then you go to Google Maps. You don't remember that?
I vaguely, it's starting to ring a bell.
Because it was, and then like you got to, essentially you got to. It was supposed to be like Google used to, back when Google was cool. They used to like do a prank once a year. It was April Fools, and so they dropped on April Fools, and it was like a commercial, people throwing Pokeballs at, like CG Pokemon, and then like they was like open Google Maps and you'll see, and it's just like they put random Pokemon on the map. You just pick them, and it was,
I
and
remember,
then
yep.
you just had them, And then they said if you got all 150, Google sent you a business card that said you're a Pokemon master, which I thought was, if I knew that I was going, I would have taken it more seriously. But it's that's what pushed Pokemon Go, because so many people were pissed off that it wasn't real, that Nintendo was just like, okay, we'll make it.
Oh yeah, I mean Google isn't Niantic like it was like a spin-off of Google or something? Like it's like a Google owned company or something.
I have no idea. I know they had a game before this that was like the groundwork for it. That was kind of like Capture the Flag, kind of, but it was the same concept where it was like a map and there were like pinpoints. It was the same, like all the Pokestops were the same like stop points in that game. It was just like,
oh yeah, I remember Reddit posts about people talking about the similarities. It was like this,
so I think they used that game as
overlay
as a base
basically.
for
Yeah,
it, but yeah.
I mean they also I wonder if they did that too similarly with the Harry Potter one that they released, because I know Niantic released Harry Potter.
Oh, I remember that. I don't think that did as hot.
Yeah.
Is it still on the App Store?
I assumed it was. I mean, I don't know why, unless literally no one is playing it anymore. I mean, they probably stopped doing updates though, because I haven't heard anything about it since then.
Ever since they dropped it, I've not heard of, like, because what do you do? Like, what are you collecting? What do you
I guess maybe like new spells. Honestly, I don't know.
Did you ever play Hogwarts Legacy?
No, I was tempted to watch it, but then I like all the controversy surrounding it.
Oh yeah.
And then also like I'm not usually, and I've told this to you, but like I'm not really one for like single player games.
You're not a single player boy.
Like I've played a handful of them, but like it's mostly multiplayer, like online games that I really I have a short attention span, so I feel like that's the only thing I'm good for.
I am definitely a single player boy. That's how I am. I remember when I was in high school, I used to play Destiny, and I used to have so much anxiety that like I would like put like, oh, random party chat, join you, and then they'd be like, hello. I'm like, ah, like I didn't know it was. I didn't have the vocabulary at the time. I didn't realize that was anxiety, but I was just like, I can't handle it. It's too much. And so like I never, like, even though my friends like offered like come play with us, like it just stressed me out the whole, because they're not overthinking. I'm like, oh, am I being weird? They're not talking, I'm not talking.
Right.
And wow, I used to really overthink as a kid. But yeah. I remember this one dude said, we was playing Destiny. He said, I made a girl character because he said he like seeing her go downstairs. And she'd be like, he said her butt looked nice when she'd go downstairs like this.
The things we do in our youth.
Man, yeah. Just picking girl characters because they're hot.
Yeah, everyone's been there.
But all the girl options, well, I guess boys are either skinny dudes, big strong guy, or hot lady. Like
right.
That's all the.
There's no in
they
between.
Have sliders, but it's like you want to. It says like fat to small, but the woman's size, it's just like her waist goes from this to like that, and it's just like.
Yep.
Yeah, men made this game.
Oh, obviously.
Like it's so sad. There's like. Black people got excited for the customization in Pokemon Legends Arceus, where they had braids. It was like, oh, jump braids!
It was a whole new game, man.
And then when they had locks in Hogwarts Legacy, it was like, oh, locks! We're just so starved.
I mean, the representation is slowly
Yeah.
getting there. It's only taken decades, you know.
Did you have a Wii?
Of course.
Yeah, that I set up without hesitation, of course. But I remember when the Mii's, I got excited because they had an Afro guy, and at the time I had an Afro, and I was like, oh, that's like me, even though his Afro was like this.
I'm surprised you couldn't shrink the Afro.
Yeah. You know, not Wii Sports, Switch Sports, they fumbled the bag on that game, man.
You know, I was hearing so much hype about that game, and then it just stopped.
I think they didn't capitalize, because first Wii Sports is like, it's like one of the best selling games of all time, because the Wii is the most, because it was like connected to the Wii.
It was attached, right?
And the Wii
yeah,
broke a
I
lot of
remember
records that I think it wasn't until like the newest Xbox and PS4. Hey, look at Ant.
Yeah, no, right? I don't know where it came from. Crazy.
I don't have anything to hit it with.
Okay,
That's like the ant that was on Suki earlier. Okay, just for context, Rodrigo's dog had an ant just on her lip. Like, it was dead, but it was just chilling there, and she was okay with it. We were kind of okay with it.
It's trying to escape right now.
Yeah. I don't want to kill you with the llama. I feel like that'd be disrespectful.
Or you just, you know, you didn't have
He
to.
lived.
It's indestructible.
The boy who lived.
You gotta let
Come
him. You
to
gotta let
die.
him live now. Come on now.
Okay, you can live.
He's indestructible. You gotta let him now.
Wait.
You've tried 3
If
times.
the
and
camera
he's
can
just-
see him, he's allowed to live. Because Rodrigo said so. It's his house.
I mean, you tried to kill him 3 times, and
I did. And I hit it with my... Did I break my Apple Watch? Hold up. We're still good.
Okay, well, see, it's. Oh no, it jumped.
Where did it jump to?
It's down there behind you.
Where? Can you see it?
It's gone now. It went into like
okay,
one of
he's
the.
right.
Okay.
Dude, oh, it's probably because I broke some of his legs. I'm putting him out of his misery. He probably not going to live. Ants are tough, man. Ants are real tough. All right, he's gone.
What a lively podcast.
Yeah, it's real exciting. It's real vibrant. I had another topic, but I forgot it. It wasn't Europe. It was something else.
I'm listening.
Was it about the llama? It was probably about the llama.
Was it about the llama? I mean, what about the llama?
I don't know.
Also, it's a. I think it's. Is it a llama or is it an alpaca? I think it's an alpaca.
Let's take a Red Solo Cup break, brought to you by Red Solo Cup. Red Solo Cup. The lines dictate how much alcohol you're drinking.
We have water in this.
I think this is either this is a shot. No. I think this is a shot.
No way. No way.
I think
That
one
is a shot. No
one of these
way.
lines is a shot. I think it's that first one. I think this is a shot.
Maybe, yeah. There's no way that is a shot. That is.
I know
like a
somebody
sip.
said that.
There's no way.
Thank you for our Red Solo Cup break. Red Solo Cup. It wasn't. We talked about Pokemans. I don't know. Whatever. We can start talking about Europe. Maybe it'll come back to me.
All right.
Okay.
You just
All right.
Edit the clip.
So this is for. Yeah, we're definitely gonna edit that little part out. But this is the segment that you all have been pestering me about. You've been yelling at me,
Damn.
blowing up my comments on everything.
You guys just won't leave Will alone.
Y'all keep bullying me, man. Y'all said we want to hear. How did Europe? Did you get a job, man? Did you get a job from Europe, bro? Like what? Update, bro. You changed my life. Update. Like I love you, Will. Update. And then, but seriously though, like I posted that. Well, first I posted the podcast, and then I posted that clip, and it's probably because I put it on LinkedIn first, and then like I think the Europe people helped it move around a little bit, but it was like then it just like it got jumping. Like can I see your phone because my phone's recording?
Yeah.
Let me do a quick check of the recording. Make sure everything's recording. That's recording. And that's recording. Okay. I buy direct. Oh yeah, also y'all shout out to I Buy Direct, man. If you need some cheap glasses, man, and you know your prescription, go to I Buy Direct.
Why are you just promoting these companies free of charge, dude?
This is
come on.
brought to you by Rage Shout Out Legend.
Dude, come on.
I just
You're
want to show
giving
them.
these
I
guys
want to show them
plugs.
the ad space they could have if they paid me.
Why would they even bother paying you if you're already giving them the ad space?
Well, obviously not. Well, maybe they will.
All right.
Maybe Rage Shout Out Legends will. Oh, you see that? I typed in Europe. Look there. Look who's right there.
Oh my god.
Your boy.
You're like the top, one of the top searches. That's
Yeah.
wild.
So, it's still queued to the television.
You should do it to my phone.
You're right. I just need to look at the comments because we're gonna go through. Why don't you have YouTube Premium? What's your problem, man? This is brought to you by YouTube Premium.
Listen, I don't really watch enough YouTube anymore to justify
Bro, I watch
paying
so
the
much YouTube.
premium. I pay premium for Hulu because like I watch that more than YouTube most of the time.
All right, we got it from top. Okay, so yeah, so I posted that clip. I did not expect it. Like, I know 5,000 views in like today's internet is not a lot, but that's a lot for me. And like to have this much engagement, like all these 56 comments is a lot for me. And it's like a lot of y'all were like very genuine about how y'all been struggling and like how my video helped you. So I'm glad it helped. Yeah, some of y'all left some really nice stuff, and it really touched my soul to think that something I was helpful to people. And yeah, so half of it was like, oh, this is helpful. I was stressed about school and now I can do this. And then the other half were like, update, I need a day in the life. And obviously it's been about, when did this, I dropped this of December of last year. So it's gone in a few months. It'll be 2 years. So it's crazy. Like how much time has like happened since this video. Cause I made this video right before we went on internship. So it was like that month, because I think we started in January. I did it in December.
I'm sorry. So it's been like a year.
Yes, it's been a year. That's why
It's been more than a year.
Yeah, it's been more than a year.
How come you haven't given any
December
update?
2021.
Oh my god, man! I didn't realize it came out that long ago.
Yeah, it was right before
gosh.
internship. So, so like I said, I have my guest, Rodrigo Pedro. He was not with PewDiePie. I lied to y'all. He was also in the year program with me. We were in different classes. I was in Group 1A. Class, what was our learning group A?
LC learning,
learning. LC1, Group 1A, and then you're in 1B.
Yep, and you guys got all the special treatment, but that's fine.
Yeah, so
we're just talking about that.
So we're gonna try to not speak, because before we get into it, because we're probably gonna say some things that we like and don't like about Europe. Europe changed our lives forever. So I want to put that out there before we start giving our honest opinions about it. Like, because
we will be honest.
Yeah, especially programs that work towards like at-risk youth and young people, they're not always all the P's and Q's, but like they changing lives. They generally are helping a lot of people and exposing people to a lot of things they wouldn't be exposed before and giving people chances that they never would have gotten beforehand. So before we speak, I want to let you know I have the utmost respect for Europe, and ain't none of y'all gonna disrespect Europe in front of me. I'm gonna talk about it because I've been through it. Me and Rodrigo been through the trenches, but it's all love from Europe. It's just 100% honest experience with the program for those of you who have been asking. But so I'm gonna let you take, because if you want to watch my initial experience before internship, look at it. It's in the corner, whatever corner I'm pointing at. Look at it. You see it? If it's to the right, I don't know, but it's there. Yeah, right, but I'm gonna let you like talk about. We'll come back to the comments. We'll get to the comments after we talk about our experience for. Excuse me.
So we're just jumping around now.
Yeah,
okay.
We're jumping around. So I want you to talk about your. You can talk about whatever you want to, but like kind of like chronicle your work experience before Europe, then your Europe experience, and then up till internship. Okay. Right. For the people at home.
Okay. So a little bit of background then. I'm on DACA, so that means that in Georgia I was unable to go to a lot of colleges, mainly because of expense, and some of them had federal funding, and so they apparently couldn't let me in because of that.
Is that real?
Yeah, that was real. I literally applied to UGA, and I received a letter. I remember the letter said that because they accepted federal funding and I was undocumented, they were not able to provide me entrance into it. Not because of my grades. Like maybe it might have been, but like I don't know why they wouldn't have mentioned that instead of the, not being a citizen kind of part. But yeah,
America.
So I dual enrolled senior year of high school. So I took some college classes at a community college. So after high school, I graduated and I decided to keep going to that community college. But since I was on DACA, that also means for tuition purposes, I count as an out-of-country student. Mm-hmm. So the tuition is 4 times the amount. So like one class, and keep in mind, this was like, how old am I? I'm 27. This was 8 years ago. One class was like $3,000 for me. So yeah. And I did try to apply for some scholarships. I mean, I could have done a better job at that, but I just ended up going to community college off and on for like years. I worked at Best Buy, Comcast, and like Comcast, it wasn't even anything tech related. It was literally door-to-door sales. And I did that for a year. I'm surprised
That's
I lasted that long.
Door-to-door sales? That is not for the weak.
It was. I'm honestly surprised I kept it up for that long. I should have quit way sooner, but I got like a severance at the end because they literally shut down the entire branch of that department and let go of everyone in that was doing direct sales. And then they brought it back a few months later, hired new people entirely, and then
you must have been paying them less or something.
I guess, but yeah, they gave me 3 months of severance, which for a year working there, I was like, I will take it. And so yeah, but then I did this I worked at a calling center, answering calls about balloon rides. So I would basically be the middleman to book balloon rides. And that company, funny enough, after I left a few months later, the Attorney General for Georgia shut it down because it was apparently illegally doing this shit. And I didn't even realize it, because they were they would basically create all these websites advertising balloon rides over Atlanta, or or like fly over Atlanta, like plane lessons and all this. And it turns out, and it would give you a phone number to call or like a form to submit, and it was taking business away from the people that actually did it, because we were the ones that just called those companies and booked it on their behalf. So we would just charge like a fucking $100 premium for no reason. And I only lasted there like maybe 2 or 3 months, because I just figured out it just felt shady, and the pay was garbage. And so yeah, I ended up only lasting 3 weeks there. But anyways, they shut it down because of that. They were just illegally advertising, or like misleading advertising, basically, is what it was. Where like it wasn't actually hot air balloon rides in Atlanta. It was actually a hot air balloon rides an hour north of Atlanta. So when like people would call in, we would have to be like, oh yeah, because of like state regulations and airplane regulations, or hot air balloon ride regulations, we can't actually fly the balloon over Atlanta. It's actually an hour north in Rome or whatever, so you're gonna have to drive up there.
That's a scam, boy.
Yeah, exactly. And so yeah, it only lasted 3 months, and then after that I ended up working at a calling center doing basically tech support for small stores who were like, we would rent them our EBT devices, and they would call us about how it didn't work, and we would fix it, all that. So regular tech support stuff in a call center. I worked there for 2.5 years, and I realized at that point that I was stagnant, that I was just not where I wanted to be in life at that point. I could have gone back to college because I only had one more class to finish my associate's degree, and this is when I actually downloaded TikTok, and I saw an ad for Europe on TikTok.
You discovered it from TikTok too?
I did.
That's shout out TikTok, man, for hooking up the Europe program.
And it was literally a month after I downloaded TikTok, because I was one of those people that's like, oh God, I'm never gonna download TikTok.
I was the same way.
Because it just sounds
kids dancing.
Exactly.
But it's so much more than that.
I'm not gonna download that. And then I finally downloaded it in October when I was like super like down, and like I was like, I need something to just watch, and so I came across one of the Europe ads. I did some Googling. I looked up more information about it, and I was like, this seems a little too good to be true.
I said the same thing.
So I signed, I applied and everything. I went through the interview process.
Who interviewed you?
Martin, Mr.
Yeah,
Martin,
I am Mr. Martin. Shout out Mr. Martin. Don't wear that no more. But
he was a cool guy.
He was a cool dude.
Offered you a tie if you ever needed it, that kind of guy.
Mr. Martin, he was a real cool
dude. He was a real nice
man.
guy. But anyways, yeah, and then luckily I had a friend who bought a house in Mableton that was like an hour or like 30 minutes from Atlanta, and he was gracious enough to let me stay there for like very cheap for that entire year that I did Europe, because like he knew a friend. He had a friend of his that actually went through the Europe program like a year or two before I signed up, and he had gotten a job with Turner Broadcasting Service, and he was making like 6 figures at that point, and so I was like, and so my friend Zach, the one who let me move in, he was like, yeah, this is legit. So like, I know you're a hard worker, and if I can help you in any way to get your foot in a career, I will do my best. And so he let me stay there for cheap for a year, and I was able to drive through and from. I didn't have to worry much about like the money, because it was very cheap what he was letting me pay for that year. One thing though, that Europe, for like the first 6 months of like college classes, they would only pay what, $50 a week.
Oh yeah.
So or like it was like $300 a month is what they would give us, right?
Well, it was $50. So we get the $50 every 2 weeks. So it'd be $100 every 2 weeks. So it'd be about $200.
$200. Okay, gosh.
It was $200 a month.
So yeah, it was $200 a month. We survived at $200
It's gone way up
month.
now, apparently. Like for y'all that want to know.
My friend, I have another friend actually that I referred to Europe. He's in the class right now. He's doing the learning and development phase. He's in like the third month of classes. And he basically was telling me that now in the internship phase, they pay $500 a week.
That's nuts,
for
man.
internship. We got paid what?
Yeah, during internship, we got 100 every 2 weeks.
150 every 2 weeks or something like that.
It was like 150.
I think it was 150 every week. I think so. Like it was like $600 a month.
Yeah. It was.
So it's like $600 is what we would get a month, and now they get $500 a week for internship.
This was 2021, 2022-ish. So we weren't all the way out the pandemic yet. So we were kind of pandemic-ish. So
it was literally post-pandemic.
Yeah, it was post. But it was like pretty much people like before 2020, like they would get more than, I can't remember what they said more, but it was definitely more than us. And then like I think the people before us got a little bit less. So I think they were on their way up. So the numbers, the stipend that you get with Europe tends to fluctuate. So you're going to probably hear a lot of numbers. But yeah, so don't be.
Yeah, that might change for any future classes. Yeah. So it's just a matter of, I don't know, I guess the market.
Because I definitely worked on weekends while I was at Europe just to.
Yeah, luckily I had a side business that I was doing at the time as well that would give me a little bit of income as well. But yeah, so anyways, it seemed too good to be true because that they would pay you, but I applied anyways. I got in, and the first few weeks it was just virtual Zoom calls.
Yeah, pre-orientation.
And it was pre-orientation, and it was the exact same thing like every day. It was like a repetitive.
Yeah, in retrospect, because like we did both get it at the first week of pre-orientation. So it was like every week they got another probably 50 to 100 kids.
Oh right, because they were still
like they didn't want
people, right.
So and also it hadn't started yet technically, so it was just like So that was very annoying where they would talk about the same things, the same concepts, like word for word, like every week, and then they told us we had to be on there.
And it makes
we really
me
could
so
just went
upset.
to one and waited till it started.
It makes me so upset because at that point I had green hair because
You did.
I decided
it looked blue on the camera. Oh man.
No. I remember I had recently dyed my hair for like the first time neon blue and I liked it so much I decided to re-dye neon green.
Yeah.
And then I started year up, and the first month they were like, you're gonna have to like do something. You're gonna have to get rid of that. And I was like, oh. Okay. Meanwhile, there were other people still in the learning and development phase, and even in internship that had different colored hair, but whatever. Anyways, honestly, the first few weeks, I started to feel like it was a cult, because like they were just they just kept saying trust the process.
They would always say trust the process.
And they would basically repeat the same year up talking points, like the mission statements, the core values, all that kind of stuff.
I'm sorry, y'all.
So they really drilled that into you.
I forgot the core values, but
they really drilled the core values into you. And so and then we got our schedule, and here's the annoying part about learning and development phase is that every day we would have to wear suits.
Yeah,
and it was hot, man. It was hot.
Business, like a tie and in Atlanta. This is in Atlanta. You gotta wear a jacket, a button down, and then when we started our internship, we'd be the best dressed people, which is good, but it's also like
I started the internship virtually, and I remember joining the first day. I was wearing my suit and tie because I was like, Europe told us that we would have to wear this going into internships. So that's what I wore to my Zoom meeting. And at the end of the Zoom meeting with my manager, it was like a kind of like a one-on-one just to introduce us and explain what my day was going to be like for the next few weeks. He was like, you don't have to like, you can dress like that if you want, but you don't have to dress up so. You don't have to be so formal. You can, dress with just like a t-shirt and
I feel like unless you were sent to a bank, everybody had that conversation with their manager. Like, look, business casual at the most.
Right. I was like yeah, of course, yeah, no.
For most fields, like, it was business casual.
So, yeah, that was really the annoying part. And then having to go Monday through Thursday every day from 8 a.m. or like 7, I would get there like maybe 7:30 a.m.
because we had to get on the Zoom we couldn't be on we had a morning Zoom meeting with Europe, and every morning, and they said we had to be at school, but so. Well,
there were some people that were so lucky that lived like 10 minutes away, so they would literally join the Zoom call at home, and then either while the Zoom call was going on, they would drive.
I would do that. Yeah,
they would drive to the school, so by the time it ended, the classes would be ready to start up, and so they would just walk to class after just now getting there.
And those morning meetings were a myriad of anything. Like they had us present something as a group project, bring somebody in to talk about financial literacy, a guy to just talk about businessware and interacting.
Yeah, there were a lot of like guest speakers.
And then you went to your mentor or whatever, and they just you just chopped it up with them. They were pretty cool. But yeah, it got tedious after a while, but it's like I get why you do it, because it's like you're essentially taking a group of young people. The original concept was it was like 20 to 24. I think it's branched out
to like 29.
18,
I think.
Like it's like 29 now. But it's like originally it was like really young people from any type of background. You could literally, as long as you had a high school diploma, there was like a 95% chance and no record. If you have a record, don't. I'm just gonna let you know now. I'm not gonna get into it, but some people. Yeah, you don't have a record and do Europe. That's all. That's all I'm gonna say. But
it's probably for the best.
But what was I saying? I don't know. But yeah. So I don't know what I was saying. Do you know what I was saying?
No, dude. You trailed off.
Yeah,
and, I followed your trail, and I lost it.
But yeah, was I talking about the morning meetings?
Yeah, you're talking about the morning meetings and being virtual.
Yeah. But yeah,
the reason why they drilled it into us.
Yeah. Yeah. I get why it's. Yeah. I'm gonna cut that out. But you get why that's important because you're taking a lot of people from a lot of different demographics. Some people straight out the hood. Some people had a computer science degree, and you're trying to get them all on the same page to
some people
straight into corporate
even had
America.
like a chemical engineering degree too.
Yeah.
Or like chemistry.
Yeah,
degree.
so there were definitely people with bachelors and people who just graduated, like literally graduated from high school.
Cut out my part, please. Thank you.
And then what did you say?
Cut out my part, please. The stuttering. Continue.
Oh no, I won't. It's staying in. Nah, I got you. But yeah, so it's understandable why it has to be so disciplined, like I understand it and I respect it. And if I was doing it, I'd go about it the same way. But that doesn't mean that I like it at the same time. You know what I mean? Like I understand why you're doing this. But it's like sometimes I'm just like, ugh, I know how to, like, I've been wearing suits since I was 2. Like, so it's, but I was, I was fussy. It was in the morning, But it was pretty cool. Yeah. How did you feel about the coursework? Like both Europe's coursework and
I mean the Europe coursework really wasn't that. I mean, it really wasn't that much work except for the parts where you had to like write a few essays at some point, which were just a little tedious, but I mean they were fine. The coursework, I mean, luckily I had already went to school. I'd already taken college classes on like Java and stuff like that. It's HTML, so it did that. Prior knowledge did help me a little bit in the following classes. So because a lot of the teachers, some of them did teach really well, others kind of let you.
I'm listening.
Yeah, they just kind of let you do your thing. They would teach it they would either go very quickly or they really wouldn't even bother with the material at all. So they would just leave that to you to learn it. So a lot of us would kind of get together sometimes.
This camera turned off. Why would it just stop recording? Okay. Oh wait, let me do this. Okay, now we're good. I don't know how much that didn't, but it's fine. We got it's all good. Okay. So I'll put a disclaimer in it. But anywho, continue.
I forgot what I was saying.
Yeah, I wasn't paying. I was so focused on the cameras. But were you talking about Europe in any way? I mean, probably. But
I was talking about Europe.
Oh, you're talking about the coursework.
The coursework, yeah. So yeah, a lot of it was you had to teach yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily some of us did get after school, like we would maybe get on Discord because we did create a Discord channel.
Yeah.
We were just talk about Europe and stuff. So we would get together, we would do homework together, we would kind of go over the material again. So honestly, I wouldn't say it was too bad, luckily because of my prior knowledge, but also you just had to put in the work for, you just had to focus on the homework. Yeah. And luckily some of those class periods were free, so you could do the homework then. Yeah. Since, they weren't really teaching.
And also I want to quantify this again. We talked to like alumni, like they had like every single person had a completely different experience. Every class has a completely different experience from each other. So if things aren't the way that we said they are, it's because they changed.
Yeah, like, I mean they're constantly rotating teachers too.
Like the teachers, because like I said, we're speaking purely the Atlanta chapter of Europe. They combined with a local community college called Atlanta Metropolitan State College. So we were taking college classes and also getting college credit. And then also Europe was like teaching us stuff and working with us and stuff and like.
Yeah. So my friend Zach that I told you about, his friend when he was doing Europe, they had their own building.
Yeah,
so this was before the pandemic where they had the building. So all the college classes were actually taught by Europe's staff. And they actually had like guidebooks and stuff. They were apparently way more organized back then when they had their own building.
Yeah. I could see how that affected stuff.
So yeah, but when they shut down, they partnered with Metropolitan, and now they have a building within Atlanta Metro State-Politan now. So they're pretty
Metro
much established.
State-Politan?
Atlanta Metro State.
Metro State-Politan.
Atlanta
Metropolitan State College.
Atlanta Metropolitan State College. Oh my God. Jeez. Anyways, but yeah, they pretty much have a partnership with them, so it's set in stone. For now.
They had a little Europe logo in the room.
Yeah, but my friend who's currently in the Europe program right now, he said that it's sort of the same as what we experience, where some of the teachers are really good about teaching you the material and go slow, they're thorough with it. There are other teachers that really don't give you the attention that they don't really teach it the way that, they should be teaching it to a group of people that really come to there's like an understanding that they don't really know the material. It's like they're just beginning to do it most of the time. So yeah, you have to really kind of teach yourself during some of those classes still.
Yeah. But one thing I realized is the students are not the customer. We're the product. Not in a bad way. Like, I'm not saying it's like it's evil, but it's like when I think about those terms, it makes more sense what they do. So essentially, these companies come to Europe and say, I need people in these positions, these positions, these positions. And the companies that need somebody and like who they are, how many they need, and for what positions change from year to year because business, if you don't figure that out, So they say, hey, Europe, I need this many software developers, this many people that know networking, this many people that for customer service positions, and this many for like a desk job or whatever. And like each company says that, and then Europe essentially, they're like, all right, what do they need to know? They need to know Java. They need to know this. I want them to know that. I want them to know how to do this. And pretty much get their order list. And Europe has 6 months to get these people as close to that order list as possible. And then whichever ones do the best and the least best, and you send them out.
Yeah, as you said, they changed. So some of the courses or the offerings may change as well. So I noticed I don't think they have software development as a track at the moment.
Yeah.
Which again might change, but back when we went, that's the track that I was in, was a software development track.
So that's also understandable why it's hard for AMSC to keep up, because it's just it's not like it's a strict list of companies that they're always using. I mean, generally there's some like ones that are less techie or a little bit more consistent. Like apparently the bank relationships are like the best relationships for Europe, from what I've heard. But yeah, that's interesting. When I started thinking about it in those terms, I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense why they do what they do.
Right.
And then AMSC would be empty, boy. Like it would just be us. You just see a
no,
whole
for
bunch
real.
of
We would go to class and it would literally just be suits and just people walking in suits and ties. Like
it looks so crazy. Like all these people walk, because not even in corporate America, nobody walks around. So when was the last time you saw a group of people in suits? Like that, the wheels in suits all the time.
Yeah.
Like that jump was interesting, but yeah, that was pretty cool. It wasn't, the education wasn't perfect, but at least from my perspective, like I've told y'all before, I didn't know a thing about coding beforehand, so that was my introduction to it. So it's like part of that whole exposing people to things that never been exposed before thing. Like they didn't have, I mean, if they did have it, they didn't tell me to do it, and I feel like it would have really resonated me earlier if like they offered it in high school. But that's a systemic issue.
now they're doing it now.
Yeah.
In some schools. Anyways,
well, not in my high school, it's not there. I can guarantee it's not there.
Well, thanks to systemic racism.
Yeah, systemic racism. But so it was like fun. I was like, wow. I was like, coding. It made coding possible in my mind. You know what I mean? Because I thought you had to be like Harvard level intelligent to do it, but it's like anybody can do it as long as you want to put in the work. But yeah, the teachers were really cool. It wasn't always perfect. You know what I mean? But they did their job. Yeah. And like I said before, put y'all on game. I'm only telling y'all, the key to success is proving and building good relationships with the corporate engagement team.
The corporate engaged people are your best friend.
They're your best friends, man.
You need to do whatever you can to set up meetings with them.
Yeah.
Like set up Zoom calls if you have to, or like in-person meetings probably be
Shake
the
their
best.
hand. Give them a firm handshake.
Make sure that you're known to them, because you want to make a good impression. Let them know that you are who they need to fill these positions that are sought after. Some of them have very valuable positions within some big tech companies, and they're looking for people that will work, that look like they will work their ass off, that look professional, all this kind of stuff that they want. So best way to do it is to get your name out there and introduce yourself to them. I know I gave that advice to my friend who's in it, and apparently he's already he's already doing really well with the corporate engagement people to the point where like one of them said that they're his top pick already, which is kind of crazy that they're already talking about that.
It's legit like an NBA draft. Like I remember Mr. Shelf. I don't know if he's still there, but shout out Mr. Shelf. He said pretty much they lock themselves in a room and they just fight over the best ones.
No, for real. Well, I have to thank Miss Browning, who unfortunately is no longer at Europe, but
she's not.
I don't believe so. No, because I asked my friend if he heard about her, and
but also Miss Browning also used to come late. But if she's gone, shout out Miss Browning.
Yeah, but she stood in or sat in for one of the classes where we had to do a presentation. So my group created a banking website, and just kind of we created a PowerPoint, just kind of walk through the basics on how we created it, what tools we use, how we implemented it, all that kind of stuff. So Miss Browning had sat in on that, and luckily she was so impressed with the presentation and with my speaking part that I did in the presentation that she apparently fought with Mr. Shelf, because Mr. Shelf already had people in mind to fill these internship roles, but Ms. Browning basically fought for me, and I know this because Mr. Shelf told me. He even told me to my face when he first told me what internship I had received. He said, "I just want you to know, Rodrigo, like I already had someone else in mind, but Ms. Browning really fought for you, so it must be you must be really special to have her vouch for you so hard." So yeah, I was luckily able to get that, give it my best in the internship, and then they offered me a full-time position afterwards. So
you were the only one, ironically, that at the moment, at the very end of intern, you were the only one given an offer. The one that almost wasn't there.
Yeah, and the only one that wasn't Mr. Shelf's pick, because the other two were Shelf's.
And they were, but one of them, both of them were great. Like it's not like
that's the thing. They were both great, but one of them did get hired at that company again, like a month or two later.
No, both of them were very sharp women, very talented, good friends. Like I'm not saying that today. I was saying it to up you, not down them, just so it doesn't look like I'm hating.
Right.
It's like I'll just say it's ironic.
It was just unfortunate, like different circumstance, because like I had we were on different teams and stuff. So yeah,
and also the reason for Europe isn't always like spoken. Like these people are here to try to find a job. Some of them just think we're here for internship, like it's college. They don't know like we're trying to get a job at the end of this. So it's like you kind of be like, hey, that's actually what I want. And they're like, oh, fine.
And that's
I don't know if I'd ask for this, but I knew it.
And that's where I also got lucky, because like shout out to my manager. He is like one of the best managers I've ever had, because he literally sat with me in the first day in the office, and he asked me what I wanted out of the internship, and I was straight up. I told him that I wanted a career. I could see myself having this as a first step in like my full, just a career for the rest of my, adult life. And so he was like, okay, well, if you put in the work, I will make sure that you get noticed, and I will vouch for you, but you just make sure that you actually put in the work and do what needs to be done to get noticed. And literally that is what it is. You need to make sure you get noticed. It's about the connection. Europe provides you that opportunity to put your foot in the door, but it's up to you to make that impression and reach out to these individual people so you get noticed, so you get your name out there, because that's really how you become a mainstay and you get offered a position eventually, once that internship is over.
Yeah. So that's kind of the tricky thing about it, is like, there's some companies where they're like, oh, we've been working with Europe for years. Like, y'all, you do the work, you're finna get converted. That's what they say, you get converted to a job. That's what they say. And it's like, you're gonna get converted. But it's like, there's also ones that are like new accounts, or like maybe they sent somebody there and they didn't do the best job. So like, you kind of gotta, so you're kind of like there to like kind of mend the relationship. And that's kind of what happened to me. Like, so my internship was at, were you done with your experience?
Yeah, no, I'm done.
Okay, yeah, okay. Yeah, so my internship was at Cox Communications. And it was one of those ones where it's like, it wasn't like they had something ready for me if they saw that I was like dedicated and learning and stuff. But it was still a fantastic experience. Like my manager, Julie, and then I worked with the critical facilities team with Chris and Kathleen. They were both fantastic. And it's like, I learned so much, because I also got to, because they let me cater the internship to what I wanted to learn. So I told her I was passionate about software development. So she put me with a team that was working with developers that they contracted, and I got to learn a lot about React from them, and like brainstorming and stories and what, I forgot a lot of it now, but it's like, and also both of the people I worked with were like wizards. When I mean wizards at Excel. Like they know the the coding language for like Microsoft stuff, like Visual Basic, like the master of Visual Basic, and it knows every button on Excel. Like they were just it was so cool to be around people that are so good at what they do, and just like it was just, and they were so like they was like, you're doing a great job. Like when people were like BSing you, like, oh, you're doing a great, like they were like, we love your input,
genuine.
Like like you're doing a good job, like, and it was just so satisfying, and they were awesome. Yeah, so shout out to Julie, Chris, and Kathleen, and everybody at the like. It was a great experience. I would not. And it gave me the experience I needed for future positions. But like, yeah, at the time they were having like a hiring freeze when it was time for me for conversion, so I couldn't even like look for a position. So, but all of them were like, if you need a letter, and they have written me, like, if you need letter of recommendations or anything, like, you could put me down as a recommendation for stuff, like, all of them. And these are some pretty high level people. Like, so it was like, those were worth their weight in gold. So for those of you who don't get converted to a job, like, just build genuine relationships, because you never know where those relationships are gonna do for you.
That's how one of my coworkers, like I said, the one that was an intern originally, she didn't get hired, but she had made connections with people in other departments, because she's a very social person, a very nice person, and so she's able to make these connections pretty easily. And she connected with someone in a different department at the company. A month later, she got messaged by her on like LinkedIn telling her to apply for the position, and she applied and ended up getting the position. So, if you prove yourself and if you get those connections, it's definitely possible to get a job afterwards if the internship doesn't work out.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of where our paths diverge. Is you essentially created a job position for yourself, like, and that really changed how I looked at jobs. Where it's like you said, well, I'm not gonna get into that. Maybe I won't get into that. But but pretty much, yeah. They saw that they wanted you at the company, and they found a place for you to fit in, and they did what it took to get you in that position, and you had the position, and it's like, yeah. So that's a good segue, because like, I didn't get converted on a job. Like I said, it was a great experience. I do not regret it, and it was a fantastic, and it set me up for my next job position. So it all worked out. It was all in God's vision at the end of the day.
I mean, you get two different perspectives from the Europe, internship.
Yeah. So I worked with the employment placement team, which is essentially so that's another benefit. I said that before, but it's like the employment placement team, their job is just to get Europe people jobs. And it's like, you'll have access to them as long as you're an alumni forever, as far as I know. So that's very useful. And so they were just like bringing recruiters for different jobs in. I put my application in, I wouldn't hear back and apply and all that. But then I heard from a woman at a company called Zurich, an insurance company, and I had never heard of it. And I discovered on my internship, that's another reason, is like, it helped me discover my passion for data analytics. And so that she said, oh, we're looking for data analysts. And I was like, oh, I want to do that. I didn't really have any experience, because I discovered like the month before my internship was over that was the path I wanted to go with my career in the long term. But yeah, she was like, you're a little underqualified, because there was nothing on there besides Excel that had anything to do. And I know what I need to learn now. But yeah, so she was like, but just keep emailing me and keep applying for stuff, and like, we'll see what happens. And then I kept applying for things, and then she'd be like, just checking up, and I would be like, yeah, I'm just keep applying, I'll keep you posted. And she was like, you know what? You are the first person from Europe that's ever like kept email correspondence with me. So it's like, I'm going to make sure that you get on at this company. Like, just keep applying, and I'm going to talk to these people, and I'm going to like sing your praises and like get you in the door. And so like, she got me a couple, like, it's very interesting going through the job search program process through a recruiter. So I would apply. I'm like, hey, I applied for this position. Here's the number for it. She's like, oh, that one, they're already interviewing for that one. All right, so go to this one. And then I'd go to that one. It's like, oh, I just talked to her. They just filled that. Like, and then he was like, oh, that one's not. But so it's just getting the inside track on what really goes on behind the scenes when you put in an application was very interesting. And then she got me an interview with a guy, and it was a good conversation with him. That didn't work out. But then she got me an interview with my current manager. And, I did everything Europe taught me. I spoke appropriately, respectfully, good resume, gave the good answers. I'm a little, my skills on the hiring, like, has, like, my interview questions aren't as strong as they were, but, like, I was, like, on it. Like, I was ready. Like, it's gone a little soft, but it's, like, those skills that Europe taught me really came in handy when it was grind time. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. Just, like, drilling. And then, like, oh, also another thing. At Cox Communications, they had a lady that, I forgot her name. I'll just see if I can find. If I find her name's right there. No, I shouldn't do that. I'm not gonna put.
Yeah,
no,
I'm
not.
say,
Never mind.
don't be exposed.
But like
people
she was, I'm
like
not gonna.
that.
But she was a huge. There was a woman who was like a liaison for like Europe and Cox that worked at Cox, and like every week she sit down with it and will ask us like the 10 most asked like interview questions and would like we'd give it to her, then she'd give a response. So like we did that for like 2 months, and it was like that really helped refine. So that really came in handy. So shout out to her. Maybe I'll put just her. Maybe I won't put her first name because I already said the company. You know what? No, I'm not gonna say her out of respect. I don't want to put her business out there. Just, yeah, no, I'm not.
What are you doing?
Because you want to like show appreciation to people that have helped you. But
I
don't know if this is good PR. So yeah, so
they'll know who they are.
She knows who she is, and she might see this because I'm gonna tag Cox Communications in this, and maybe it'll go viral like the other one. But yeah, so that was a huge help. So when I interviewed with my manager, like I was like, this is a weird interview. Like when I got done, I was like, this is weird. Like, I was like, either I was guaranteed it from the beginning, or they already have somebody. So I was like, either way, it was sure. Luckily, it was the other way around, and they gave me an offer. Might have been 2 or 3 times anything I've ever made in my entire life. And it was just like, Zurich changed my life, man. Like, first of all, I'm an underwriting associate, and I didn't even know what the word underwriting was. But it's like, it wasn't like, if I'm being transparent, most people who come into my position have a lot more experience, but just like, my drive and my determination to grow and learn really like resonated with my manager. So she took a chance with me, and it's like, I mean, I've only heard good things from her. So if she hates me, she's doing a good job of hiding it. But so far, like, my team is fantastic. Like, I love everybody I work with. You know, my manager is fantastic. The work culture is fantastic. Like, for me, I'm not gonna say everything is always perfect all the time everywhere at something, but it's like, I couldn't ask for a greater work situation. Like, it's just like, everybody's just there just to do their best and like have a good time when you can, in between when you can, and like get their work done. Right. And it's just like, for somebody that's been hardworking all my life, it's been hard to find other people who work hard. Like, most jobs, like, everybody hates it. People complain. It's like, you know, it's nice to be other people that are like giving it their best. Like,
that's
together.
what I love. Yeah, about one of the things I love about my job is like, you can see the passion that people have for the job and for what they're doing. Mm-hmm. So it's great to see that, and that really just kind of uplifts you and gives you kind of like I guess it kind of motivates you too, in a way, really. Yeah, it makes you want to be, because you don't want to let your team down, man. Like, exactly. You're part of a team. And the company, I mean, I'm working at, they really encourage growth. I mean, it's all about growing as yourself within your career, because they want you to succeed. They want to keep promoting you. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a coworker on my team who was in my position last year, and he got promoted a year after. Like, only a year it took him to get promoted. So. Yeah, it's crazy, honestly, the opportunity that Europe gave me by just getting my foot in the door, and I was able to prove myself. I did automation. Basically, like I said, my manager handed me work to do, and it was like I had to like automate some reports, and my name came up during one of the higher up meetings that had like the upper management that were like my boss's boss, and they had brought up my name because I had brought down a report. Basically, I had brought down the score indicating that I had done automation, and so they were impressed by it. And yeah, I mean, I just kept doing the work that needed to be done for me to get noticed. And I heard that, you know, once the internship was going to end, my manager was kind of, he said something was in the works. He was talking to the HR lady that, you know, was kind of like partnered with the Europe program. She was the middleman, you know, with the Europe. And yeah, they had brought it up all the way to the higher up in the department, and they basically approved of creating a position within the company for me to be on my manager's team, because he had seen the work that I had done. He had seen, I mean, my camaraderie too with my coworkers, because everyone on my team, both teams that I worked on since, like, they are really cool people, really like lovely to work with, really nice. Like, we joke around too. Like, it's not a like what you see in like corporate, like in those TV shows where it's like soulless corporate environment. No, like, we joke around, we have fun, you know, that kind of stuff. We go out to lunch together too. We walk to the mall or something. We go to like Chipotle, Chick-fil-A, and come back, and it's kind of crazy too. I mean, it leads to a lot of collaboration too, which is a big part of the company stance. You know, they want see collaboration and people reaching from different departments too, just to learn more stuff. I mean, we had 3 days dedicated to just kind of going to Zoom meetings and learning about different topics either related to our position or not related, just wanting to learn more about a different aspect of the company.
Yeah, that's when people. I feel like white collar work, when it's done, I feel like white collar work gets a bad rap, man, because they just act like it's all drones and your sheep and like all. But it's like sitting in an air conditioned office and everything that I'm responsible for is on a computer. That's a good feeling, man. When I ain't got a suite.
The flexibility too is like, oh my god, dude. I never realized. I never expected to be able to have this much flexibility at a job like where like it's flex work. So luckily, I only get to go. I only have to go into the office 50% of the time. Even going into the office, it's not a bad experience. Yeah. Aside from the drive, man, driving to Atlanta, all the way
that's
from
the worst part of this is driving through Atlanta, bro.
Luckily though, you live fucking closer to Atlanta than I do.
Well, I mean, it's still an hour.
I know. But like for me, it's an hour. It's an hour without traffic. It's an hour and a half. I would say
nobody told you to live out all the way out here.
All right. Well, listen. I'm saving up for a house. I'm definitely not, planning on actually buying a house here. So eventually. But yeah, even then, like being able to go into the office is a big part of collaboration and being able to talk to my coworkers if I need help. Yeah. Or just getting to know them, because we even have sometimes we after work do happy hour, like go out and oh my gosh, it's crazy how companies there's so much alcohol. They're a huge fan of happy hours, man. Yeah. Corporate companies.
There's so much alcohol in corporate America, and I love it. Like it's so much fun.
It was a culture shock, man. When I first heard about it, my first happy hour, I was like, "What?
Happy hours
serving alcohol?
Company happy hours are so fun.
The break room of the office? Man. What?
And I love it because it also really allows a lot of barriers to come down between people, and it's like it really allows you to really build genuine.
I think that's the point of the happy hour. Right?
I mean, I guess it's been in America for centuries. Like people get better. Closer with alcohol, but it's like it's just because I noticed like my relationship with like my coworkers changes after every just because also it's off the clock interactions in general help you build that camaraderie, right? And the alcohol is kind of just like lubricant, and it's but it's been really cool. But yeah, so
you want to get to the comments now, or
let's get to the comments. Before we get to I guess it'll come. They'll have.
No, I was gonna say
I have your face. Yeah, okay. Yeah. It's 1111. Okay, so let's go through a couple of these. I graduated that program in 2019, same degree. Today I work at IT business analyst, making good money. It was totally worth it. So shout out. Yeah, there's a lot of people saying, "Hey, this worked."
That's awesome.
Also, all right. I'm really glad I found this video. I've known about Europe since last year, mid-July, but I thought I'd give school a try again since I was transferring after taking a year off. Excuse me. However, I find it that school still hasn't been working out for me, more or so due to things I can't read well, guys. I'm sorry. Things outside of my control. It's been a real slump. LOL, but hearing your experience has given me some kind of hope and has convinced me to sign up after I'm done with this semester of my junior year. Hopefully, I don't do too bad. LOL. I hope when you get into Europe. I hope I get into Europe. I also meet because I talked about how the people I met there and how they're pretty awesome. I also probably want to meet like-minded people that I end up befriending. Would love to see an update video. Best wishes to you and your future, man. Like that touched, because I got that like right after I posted, and I was like, shout out to Mario, man. That junk made my month, man. But I just want to let you know, Mario, I've been thinking about that comment for a while, though. This is really reassuring. About to drop out of college again. Looking forward to apply to Europe. Come back once you're ready to make more content. See, everybody's like, I love you, bro. Where's that part 2 at, though? Like,
oh my god.
Please continue the series. I just applied for Europe. Would love an update. Okay.
These are all for like a year ago, right? You expect these guys who are already in the program.
I really hope you continue to make contact because this is so helpful. Okay. She's in the program in Arizona. I'm on week 9. I believe everybody should try it out. I'm not seeing questions. Follow up? Yeah, there's another one. Nice video.
You just didn't prepare. You assumed there would be questions.
I assumed there'd be questions. There's a lot of... Yeah, I was in NYC Europe at... Okay. I was facing a lot of problems. Okay. There's some sad stories in here.
There's one thing I have to say that not because I'm not trying to bash Europe, but I am trying to be honest. The Atlanta chapter, at least, has gotten more disorganized. Apparently, I mean, they used to they were disorganized before, because I mean, it was post-pandemic. They'd moved to AMSC, and so they were still trying to figure things out. My friend who's still going there, apparently, from what he's told me, they're still disorganized. They're obviously doing great work, but it's just, for instance, they said that they had to be in person at one point. They went into person, and it turns out it was actually virtual that morning. So they didn't even have to go into AMSC to begin with.
Yeah.
So,
But I feel like if you ever worked with a nonprofit for a nonprofit, like nonprofits tend to be difficult work environments.
and I feel like it's hard too, because
yeah.
there's Europes all over the country, so they probably I don't know if the communication is there too. I mean, there might be.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes and what they're going through. So, but it's like they're changing lives. So it's like I can't hate on them. Nobody gets it right, especially when you're dealing with 18 to 29-year-olds and trying to make them accountable and consistent.
Facts.
Because that's another thing we didn't say is like we started with like 300 people. There was barely 100 when it was time for when we were alumni.
Stuff,
right? There had to have been 80 people. Like, so a lot of people did not make the cut, man. Because they deduct points. So if you're late, you're disrespectful, you're not on time, you don't get good grades, you get what was it called? Not deductions, but you had a point system, and once you kind of got zero.
They gave you a chance too once you reached 100
if you got 100, so it was like 500 points something, but once you got down to 100 points, you had to do a 100-point plan where you talked about what you're going to do better.
And we saw someone's presentation who did that.
Oh,
See, a
man.
lot of the problem with a lot of those people that dropped out was that they thought that getting in was the hard part. Once you got in, they didn't actually put in the work. Getting in was really the
easy part. The hard part is staying in.
Right. They actually didn't put in the effort. I know someone who actually never logged into their book online, never did any of their classwork until the last month of the semester, and he was asking other people to help him log in to begin with.
We've been in our books reading and studying for months.
And this dude just expected to get an internship because he got accepted into Europe to begin with. So a lot of these people don't know that there's actually is a lot of work required for it. And I will say it's definitely worth it. It was definitely more worth it for me to go to Europe than to actually go back to college and finish my associate's degree. Because, I would have had an associate's degree.
Yeah.
But I don't think the community college I went to, Chattahoochee Tech, really has anything to help you, like the employee, the program that you said.
It's just the benefits. Like, there's so many other benefits.
Right. Like, they don't help you get your foot in the door. I mean, they give you the degree, but then you have to go on your own and apply for internships at these companies that you want. And a lot of these internships, for the most part, if you don't have connections, they are asking for a bachelor's degree, or to be enlisted in college. On a 3.
There's people who go through the Europe program who have positions that require. Hold up. There we go. It can only record so much at one time. I forgot about that. But so there's. There's literally positions where people have 4-year degrees and some have masters, and we're getting into these things because it's like I feel like the systems that we set up, a lot of these jobs that just like they want you to have a bachelor's because they want to know you're willing to work. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even about the bachelor's in a lot of jobs in America, which is messed up. It's systemic, but we're not here to talk about the systemic problems.
It just shows you're committed for those amount of years. You committed yourself for those amount of years.
Yeah, essentially, you worked hard for 4 years consistently without stopping. That's pretty much what it is now. But it's like we're not here to fix the system. We're here to just thrive and like find the loopholes in the system. So it's like a lot of these places, like when we got in, if you worked hard, a lot of people were like very helpful. It's like they like introduce you to people that they thought would be more helpful if like they couldn't help you, like get an internship, like they like I said, letter of recommendations, like and these companies have a lot of money and a lot of resources. So a lot of times you get access to a lot of the resources that the employees get. So it's like, this is some more advice for y'all. Like when you on internship, every minute treat it like you in Afghanistan or Vietnam, you in Germany in World War II, and you are in enemy territory, and your goal is to survive. And by surviving, you build genuine connections with people. You learn about all the resources and opportunities. You learn if there's any job positions. Like, because even if you don't get converted, like, these are some there's so many people that are willing to help you with your career once you leave your internship, and like will be like lifelong like mentors. Like, it's in there. You just gotta like finagle. Like, that's the real, like, having these companies, you know, Cox Communications, Bank of America, JP Morgan, like all these major companies, having them on your resume with like little to no experience besides in degrees, like, it's worth its weight in gold. These relationships you build in Europe, like with these people at these companies, are worth their weight in gold. Like, I'm telling you, like when you get in there, take advantage of the opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, if you look like you are going to give it your all, if they feel like, you know, you're putting in the effort, you're putting in the work, they want you to succeed. They want to see people who try hard, who are putting in the effort to succeed, because, you know, that's why they're there. So like you said, it's all about making an impression, and if you make a good impression, then these people will vouch for you and you will see results.
I had people write letters when I was applying for other things. Like, I had them write me really great letters of recommendation, and it's like, I'm telling you, man, you get a lot of recommendation from somebody in a great position, man. Like, man, it's worth diamonds, my guy. Like, golly. But let me see. Yeah. So I just want to say thank you to Zurich for this great opportunity. This has been a great work environment. I love working at Zurich, and yeah, thank you, Europe. Shout out to y'all. Like I said, y'all changed my life. The system's not perfect, but no thing is. But it's like, I'm grateful to y'all. Any last advice for the people? Oh yeah, let's talk a little bit more about the day-to-day during the learning and development phase. So, well, I think we pretty much covered. But yeah, you get up in the morning, you meet with your mentors, like, and just do what they say. Just be respectful. Wear your student tie. Like, don't be messing up. And then go to your classes, be on time, and
usually there's like an hour break in between classes at some point.
Yeah.
And usually use that time to either get lunch or actually focus on doing some of your work, which I would highly recommend, doing some work in between classes.
Make some friends. So yeah, we normally had 2 classes a day?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had Europe in the morning.
I thought it was 4 classes a day. Oh no, 1 class in the it was like an hour and a half class. Right. Yeah, it's 2 classes a day. I can ask my friend to send me a schedule again, honestly. You know what? I actually have a schedule. Actually, I forgot. Oh,
There you go.
There it is. He actually sent me his schedule.
Yeah, because it's been a while, man. And also, another piece of advice is, like, keep these friends you make close, because you never know where these people at Europe's careers are going to go. Oh, and one more thing. LinkedIn is the game, boy. Like, while he's looking that up, let me tell you about LinkedIn. LinkedIn lets you have access to essentially anybody you want. And I did this, like, when I was in between, like, looking for a job, I would just, like, DM recruiters and heads of positions, and I've gotten a couple Zoom calls with some very high level people at a lot of companies. And it's like, yeah, like, if you want to work somewhere in a field, look up that field, look up your state, and just start DMing those people. Send them emails, you know, genuine business emails, or like DMs, and like talk about what your intentions are, maybe. And also a little game, man. People love when you just say you want to pick their brain. You just want, if you don't want nothing from them but knowledge, people eat that up, man. And be genuine, like genuinely want to learn. I'm not saying like finagle people, but it's like you'll never know what kind of doors open for you when you just come in just willing to learn.
Yeah, for those people that have anxiety, social anxiety, or are more, you know, reserved, more quiet, more introverted. I am also like I'm an introvert usually. I have, you know, pretty high anxiety, but you need to just fake it till you make it. Honestly, you have to. I have to act social in order to get anywhere, right? In Europe, you have to make yourself known. How are you going to make yourself known? You're just going to be in the corner doing. I mean, yeah, it's important to do your work, but if you're not being noticed for your work, then you're not really going to get a good internship, because corporate engagement people won't know who you are. Yeah, you know, they won't know your personality. They don't know if you would be a good fit within a certain company that they're, you know, looking at. So yeah, right off the bat here, I can actually and I just lost it. But anyways, it was basically, like you said, virtual Zoom meeting with the Europe staff in the morning usually, and then it would followed by one college class, transition period, another college class, and then you would have lunch.
Yeah. And then some people like after, like, because I think we're done by like 3-ish, 3 or 4ish.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
Yeah, and then some people just go to look because a lot of people had jobs like, so like some people went to work and then like some of us would just like hang out, we go out to eat or whatever. So yeah, make some friends, man. Go out there and make some friends.
You need to cut that part out because I want to read the schedule again.
Okay, I can recontextualize all this.
I'm looking through all these pictures here.
Okay,
Because we've sent a lot of pictures.
so while we're waiting on him,
Here we go. Okay, I got it.
I was gonna talk about our next sponsor.
My bad. So
Raid
so
Shadow
basically
Legends.
it was, yeah. So we have college class transition period, which is like 30 minutes to get you to where you need to go. Then another college class, lunch, followed by another college class, and that's right now how they're ending their day. So yeah, and that usually ends at 3:30. So the day it ends at 3:30 for them right now.
I think that's pretty much everything. Am I forgetting anything else? Talked about the internship. Yeah. So my internship, yeah. So pretty much once a week you meet with your corporate engagement person that you're assigned to also. Just like talk about how things are going. They give you a little inside track of how things are going in the company. Maybe they have some advice for you going in. You kind of bring situations that you're going through. Because like some people were virtual, some people were hybrid, some people were completely in person. So they just helped you finagle this environment. Because it's kind of like walking into a zoo, man, with like no cages. Like you just don't. It's not like it's dangerous, but it's like it's a new world. So
You
it's
really
like,
don't know what to expect.
Yeah, you don't know what to expect.
Yeah,
Not anything bad, but it's just new. You know.
I mean, I wish we could come up with other questions, but if
Most
this
people just told me
goes
they wanted-
well,
yeah.
and people have questions,
Yeah.
maybe
so
we can
yeah,
make
y'all
another.
put questions in the comments of this video.
Yeah, then maybe we'll invite me back.
Yeah, we'll come back to the rod room. The once was a garage, but due to great ingenuity is now a bedroom.
It's Mexican with Mexican labor,
Shout out to Mexican labor.
aka my dad.
Shout out to Dad, man.
But yeah,
Tu padre es mi padre.
exactly.
Hermana.
Hermana is sister.
Oh yeah.
Sister. I don't know why I said sister.
Abuelo.
Sister.
Right.
Oh god.
So, is there anything else about internship? Yeah, every internship is different because every company is different. So every company is its own animal, it's got its own beast. So I can't really prepare you for it. I would advise if it's a company that's had relationships with Europe for a while, find a Europe alumni in that company and just like stick to them like glue. They'll probably find you, but if they haven't found you, you go find them.
It just depends on the position you're honestly going for within these internships. Like they have different. Some of them like are flexible. Like you can work from home some of the time. You have to go to the office other times. Some of them are just you have to be in the office the entire time, or some of them you work from home the entire time. So it really depends on the position, the company you're going to be interning at. So just keep that in mind. It's not going to be your experience is going to differ from person to person, but one thing the corporate engagement people at least did for us is they asked us what kind of work environment we would like to have.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And kind of like our strengths and weaknesses. So
yeah, corporate engagement team is fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also the learning engagement people are awesome too. Like
right.
They taught us a whole lot and really helped us prepare. So
but yeah.
Yeah. So shout out to them. Any more game? Yeah, I think that's it. So yeah, apply to Europe now. We should try to go to the summit. Well, you'll be in Mexico, but
that'd be pretty cool.
I'm gonna try to go to the summit, and I'm gonna be like,
when you're not in Mexico with me for that.
Yeah,
week.
when I'm not in Mexico with you, I'm gonna try to show up to the Europe Alumni Summit. Y'all come check me out at the summit. It's in Texas this year.
It'd be nice to visit Texas.
And I haven't really used. I'm only gonna use PTO for the Mexico trip, so I'll have some extras. So
that's what I love about my job. I have unlimited PTO within reason.
Within reason. Yeah.
Can't be taking 3 months off.
Having PTO in general is just like awesome.
I love having health insurance and dental. And
I
just love basic human rights that we have to have a corporate job for. But you know,
I love
it is what
dental.
it is. You know, I mean, I got braces because of it, and Invisalign to top it off.
Invisalign, yeah.
Like I don't. It's
shout out
great.
to insurance.
Shout out to insurance and being able to pay bills. It's pretty great.
So So yeah. If y'all have any more questions,
Yeah, if you're committed for an entire year,
yeah.
and you're gonna put in that work, you're gonna try to get noticed.
Yeah. If you got a year from 8 a.m. to 3:30 p.m., give it a shot, man. I'm telling you, you're not gonna waste a year. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
It's gonna be ups and downs, but yeah. So I think that is it. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Thank you, Will, for having me on your podcast.
Well, I was gonna wrap up that
That's
segment.
lovely. Oh, okay.
I was gonna see if yeah, like, comment, subscribe, yada yada yada. See y'all next time. Cause I'm gonna cut the year part out, and then so I was just putting that there. Yeah, but yeah, I want to see. What?
You remember what you wanted to talk about?
No, I forgot it. It's gone, man. It's gone. I forgot it. It wasn't that big. It was some silly. It was probably another video game. But I wanted to see if you had anything you wanted to tell the people. Anything you want to market, a topic you want to talk about before we head out.
Honestly, I can't really think of any topics to think about. I didn't realize this was a one-on-one with you.
I only have 2 mics, so.
What do you mean?
I only have 2
Oh,
mics.
no, I meant like a one-on-one is like I'm talking like you as like my manager right now. Why?
Well, you're not. I'm not your manager.
I know, you're gonna have to cut this part off because.
No, it's.
I don't want to mention. No, I don't want to mention. Dude, no, please don't.
I'm
do
your
this.
manager.
Don't
I'm
do
gonna
this.
cut that clip.
Don't do this.
You're my manager. I'm gonna make it my ringtone. You're my manager. You're my manager.
No, but
You're
let me
my
think.
manager.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't have any more topics that I can think of honestly right now.
Would you like
so.
to plug your social media, or do you want to stay aloof?
I like the idea of staying aloof. That sounds
Okay, so
nice.
no social media plug. Just follow Rodrigo in real life. Like, just follow him. Find out where he lives.
Yeah, it's
I'll give
gonna
you
be
a-
pretty hard. I'll actually give you props if you're able to stalk
Yeah.
me. I won't even be mad.
I'll give you a hint. He owns chickens. So that cuts down.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
a little
so
bit.
that's the only hint I'm gonna give him. So ready, set, go, and then you just hear, Rodrigo, I saw you on your up. These dogs keep biting me, Rodrigo. Help!
Oh God.
But yeah. Oh yeah. Also yeah. Rely on find out. Yeah. Then use the Europe Alumni Network also. So it's like, even if you don't have the same intern, like, find out what Europe alumni are in it. So like, if you don't get converted on a job, like, talk to them, see if there's any positions. You know what I mean? So just like, use the alumni network to your benefit also. So it's like, there's a lot of resources in Europe. But yeah, that is gonna. If Rodrigo doesn't have anything else, he doesn't want to plug any social media or new music that's dropping. So
I don't have any music dropping.
he doesn't have any music dropping, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, right
So now it's a like, comment, subscribe, and
now. I'll see you guys later. No, it's bad.
I'm Will, and this is Rodrigo, and we're gonna eat 10 pounds of chicken before we pass out and die.
Sounds like a plan to me. This is all
Okay.
news, but I'm down. Let's
But-
go.
Okay, but yeah, I don't got nothing else.
All right.
Here's a llama. We'll talk to y'all later.
All right. See you guys.
And that is a wrap.